The following podcast is intended for adult audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
This is your maze master, Abel Enzo. By my might and by the will of the legendary powers, may my voice penetrate the void. May my voice break the dimensional barrier. May my voice reach you across space, across time. I am coming to you, travelers, from the last realm, the Iron Realm. And this is the Iron Realm bonus cast. I've done it! My voice is free. My voice is free. $66.
Hello, João Luiz. Welcome to the Iron Realm bonus cast. Thank you, João. I'll endeavor to get the pronunciation just right. Names are important, and I'm pleased to honor yours. As for your English, I'm finding it to be excellent. You've done some amazing work for the Iron Realm, a number of 3D miniatures depicting characters from the show, and I want to talk about that for sure. But before we get into this, please do introduce yourself for the listeners. Who is João Luiz?
Hi there, Abel. It's a pleasure to be invited here. I'm from Brazil, so I apologize in advance for my Russian accent. The name is João, and I know it can be a little bit difficult to the English language, so feel free to call me John if you wish. João, John, same meaning. So, let's go.
Aside from the Iron Realm, are there other RPGs you enjoy? Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, I started playing RPGs in school in the 90s. A friend in our class came to me and said, "Oh, I have these paper and dice games. Do you want to play?" And I'm like, I'm not sure what this means, but I'm in. And we went to his house in the weekend, and he introduced us to GURPS, and we absolutely fell in love with it. Everybody loved it so much. We started playing every weekend, and we played all the year and all along the school and high school. And when we get to university, the group split and everybody went for different things, and I stopped playing. And a couple of years ago, the group reunited and we started playing again. We discovered Roll20 and we started playing online, and we have been playing ever since, like for 6 years now. So we're back in the game.
I'm really connecting with your story of role-playing through the years with friends. There's definitely something about that shared experience that you truly cannot get anywhere else. And doing games together is a very good way to keep the friendship strong. I've played GURPS myself, though it was a few years back when it first came out. Who knows? The way that setting merges all realities into one system may even have been a very early influence for the style of gaming that we eventually see on the Iron Realm. Speaking of which, I understand that you've been listening to the Iron Realm for some time now, and that you've experienced the episodes up through chapter 44. Tell us about what interested you about the Iron Realm and what you like most about the podcast, the settings, and the characters.
I must say, I discovered the Iron Realm through the Tale of the Manticore podcast. John and I started following each other on the Instagram due to my digital miniature projects, and I decided to give it a shot at his podcast, which I found absolutely fantastic. As you know, he talks really high of you and got me curious. So I started listening the Iron Realm. I find so interesting how you two do similar things yet so different. I love all about the Iron Realm experience, but I have to say what I like the most is the pace, the time you give the characters to explore, to regroup, to seek water, to fight units, And this old school vibe is so strong here, and I love it.
Thank you, João, for your kind appreciation of the Iron Realm and its trademark classic style. I've enjoyed showing the ways that the characters are at the mercy of the maze itself, not just the creatures, but the long-term challenge of survival. I think others who have played in the old school definitely recognize this too. The attrition that happens between fights can turn the tables just as surely as a deadly combat attack. This happened with the triplets during one of the episodes, but no spoilers, I suppose. Tale of the Manticore is fantastic, and I've been enjoying the Season 3 miniatures you made and posted recently. We definitely have an overlap of fans between our shows, so the fans should definitely check out your Tale of the Manticore miniature designs as well. So of course, by now listeners should understand that you're an expert with making miniatures on HeroForge and that you created likenesses of the characters of the Iron Realm tribes. What inspired you to create the characters from the Iron Realm?
So the listeners should know I'm an expert in miniatures. Well, thanks for the expert. I've been crafting these minis for almost 2 years now, and I think I'm improving. We never had an artist in our group of friends, and I was complaining about that with the group, and a friend showed me the HeroForge website where you can customize these 3D digital miniatures and even get them printed if you want. And I started doing just my RPG party, and the guys loved them so much. I started doing other characters just for fun, like the Ninja Turtles and the X-Men, Tintin, and so on. Eventually, I had more than 100 minis, and one other friend suggested that I created the Instagram account to post them, and so I did. And soon after that, I started doing some collabs with a lot of friends I made along the way on the internet. I have a bunch of Tale of the Manticore minis too, and when I came across the Iron Realm, I found it so rich in details that I felt compelled to craft these minis. It was so much fun doing so.
I find it even more fitting that it was your group of RPG friends that set you on the path to doing miniatures online. And more than 100 minis? Exquisite. One of the things I love about the miniatures you made is that the details are all rendered with care directly from the descriptions for the characters that were given on the show. Tell us how you went about getting the details right for the variety of characters. What were the challenges of making these, and what did you enjoy the most?
Well, as I said, the Iron Realm is so rich in details that it was very easy to imagine these characters. You lay out them very clearly, stats, gears, appearances, everything. And it was just a matter of going back to the description segments and listening, Most of the time I listen to the podcast while I'm driving to work, so I cannot do the minis just right away. But I'm already with them in my mind. I usually forge them at night when I'm back home, and that's when I re-listen to the descriptions parts to get the details right. So it's fun.
Making miniatures is a very ambitious project, especially because there is more than one tribe. The tribe of Solus, the rival tribe, the Elvish tribe, and so forth. Did you create the tribes in order? Or did you make the characters individually according to your inspiration?
I started them in order as we get to know them in the show, but I don't usually do 100% of a mini before I go to the next one. It's kind of a mixed thing, updating them as I go forward in the podcast. Also, we don't get all the looks right away. For example, I first did Amazar with red hoods. Just find out in a later episode he was wearing green, so I went back and fixed that. So I like to take my time to, no hurries, like to listen and absorb the character's concept.
You know, João, I could see Amazar in red. What some don't know is that the humans learned magic originally from the elves, and so the color green is a traditional color for human wizards too. Do you have favorite characters from the Iron Realm so far? Tell us more about them. Are you happy with the way the miniatures came out?
Well, I'm a fan of dwarves. They are my favorite people, I guess, since the days of the old HeroQuest board game. The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, I really love the dwarves, so I really cheer for Stockholm. That being said, I have a soft spot for Freya the elf. Just discovered she's going to be a mom, and I hope things go really well for her. And as for the minis, I'm pleased with the way they came out, and I think Lan is my favorite mini. I really like especially the hair I choose for her. I like her very much too.
I'm a firm believer that every campaign needs a dwarf. I have to say, I'm really pleased too with the way Len came out. This is just about exactly the way I picture her, so I think you nailed it. Do you have favorite scenes from the Iron Realm? What are your favorite moments from the show?
Yes, I do. The best scene so far, for me of course, is the fight between Temik and Echo. I like when this PvP happens naturally. I won't give away any spoilers, but it's so intense and with consequences. And I hate stories where something usually bad happens and then the characters can easily fix it and everything goes back to the same way it started, And we definitely don't have this kind of story, this kind of plot, this kind of writing trick in the Iron Realm. The stakes are very much real here. You feel the blows in the Iron Realm. I like that very much.
The Temik Echo fight was interesting for me, since it shows the listener that there's a threat to the tribe, not just from creatures, but also there's a threat from within. Supposedly, the characters are safe, barricaded into their base, but when the madness takes them, the fight that ensues is very much life and death. I definitely enjoyed making it for you. João, I heard that you have not played as Character 8 yet, but with so many amazing miniatures, I wondered if you might use them in the future for an Iron Realm game. Tell me if you have printed your 3D Iron Realm miniatures yet, and if you might be playing alongside with the podcast in the future.
I really hope so. As I said before, I mostly listen to the podcast while driving, so I haven't been able to properly keep track of Character 8, but I fancy that idea so much, and I don't think I ever saw anything quite like it in any other show. I really like the extra points you give Character 8 for real-life social activities, like fantastic, noble movement. Thank you for that. As for the printed minis, I haven't tried it yet. Dollar is very expensive for us in Brazil right now, so I've only been playing the crafting digitally. And also, I think my wife will kick me out if I start another RPG collection. I have no other places to with them at home. However, I have done a partnership with the Kids Table podcast, another fantastic D&D show where they play with the little ones. It's not old school, but it's so heartwarming. It's so cool, the parents and the kids playing. So I made their characters, and they did printed them and painted them, and it was too cool to see. The kids were very happy with them. They loved the results, and I love it too. It's so cool.
Passing on this kind of joy to the next generation is really what it's all about. I bet those kids were all smiles and will always treasure the custom RPG miniatures that you crafted for them. Thanks, too, for telling me about your thoughts on the Character 8 campaign. I have a feeling that when you get the chance to try it, you're really going to enjoy it. Tell me, too, João, what would you like to see from the Iron Realm in the future?
Well, I still have a long way to go to the Iron Realm. More than 100 episodes or so, I guess. I feel some deaths are inevitable, but I hope they also conquest some good things, you know. I think you are very clever to introduce a lot of level 1 characters, and I cheer for at least a couple of them to survive until the very end. Is there going to be an end? I don't know. I hope they achieve level 20 or whatever, but I hope we stick to some of the first tribe characters all along the way. One other thing I love about fantasy RPGs are, of course, magic items, and I'm enjoying how you handle them in the Iron Realm. Rare, but findable. And I'm curious to see what other magic items the tribes will come across.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about yourself and your work with all our listeners? Do you have any new projects in the works?
I have now forged more than 500 characters. I still have a couple of dozen on the line to post these years. And while I'm enjoying it, I'll keep crafting and posting them, you know. I don't want to make a job like I must do this. So I'm going with the flow, and I'm enjoying it. About the Iron Realm, I have a special project to update them as they go. I mean, I'm keeping some notes about new items they get and who has what. One other thing I really like about this show is how they are always changing gears between them to make the best use of it. It really feels like a tabletop RPG with the buddies, you know. So I intend to release an update to the mini soon. I have a couple of versions, like until episode 5, episode 18, episode 40. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool to see how they evolve. And I hope you and the listeners like them too.
João Luiz, it has been a real pleasure. Please let the people know where they can reach you online.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at DailyHeroForge, where you can see all my work. My goal there is to post 1 mini per day, every day, except Sundays when I shoot out to some other artists I enjoy. I'd like to thank you one more time, Abel, for this opportunity, and I would also like to give something back to your listeners. So, to all of you listening today, come and follow me on Instagram at DailyHeroForge and DM me saying you got to know me here on the Iron Realm, and I will forge your character. If you have a character, an Iron Realm character or an RPG character or whatever, come and say hi and I will forward them to you. See you there, and remember, play hard or go home.
Thank you, friend, for the interview and for that incredible offer. Travelers of the Maze, be sure to follow João Luiz and keep an eye out for all his latest miniature creations. I've been Abel Enzo, signing out. From the Iron Realm podcast, be sure to search for and listen to the Iron Realm podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And remember,
Play hard or go home. Iron Realm, Iron Realm, Iron Realm.
The Iron Realm and the Iron Realm bonus cast, copyright Abel Enzo, represent an original dark fantasy take in a mega dungeon RPG setting. Audio used to create the Iron Realm bonus cast has either been created by me, or else most often is a CC0 work. Occasionally preview clips of upcoming episodes of the Iron Realm may use the audio of others with permission, and in this case, all the details can be seen under the upcoming episode's show notes at theironrealm.com or theironrealm.blogspot.com. My sincere thanks again to all you supporters of the show. May your legend forever live on.